Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyaye sibuke ama reality shows ethu alla eMzansi bese sizala sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama reviews ama recaps, bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu alla eMzansi. If it's your first time joining me today and you really like my content, ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress subscribe button kanye ne notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Guys, there is a join button for those who want to be members of the channel. There's a thanks button. Thank you so much to everybody that uses it, and thank you so much to everybody that watches my adverts Agule channel. Listen, you guys, I'm going to do the full review of Uthando Nesthembu episode 8 for those who were not able to watch the live, and also our live was cut short because of the connection. And we are eventually going to get it right, you guys, because I am determined to do AMA reviews live after every episode. Okay, anyway, let's just begin. Okay, guys, like I said on the live, I was starting to feel like Uma Khumalo is not getting enough screen time, especially where it's just her dealing with her life with Babum Selego. So now we're going back to his story line Masawula, you guys. I feel like sometimes Uma Khumalo avoids dealing with izinto that we know exist in her life that would be so interesting to deal with as a storyline on Uthando Nesthembu. She would rather deal with izinto that concern other people in her life rather than ezakhe izinto. You know what I mean? So obviously this was focused on her, this scene, and they are talking about Masawula. For those who don't know, maybe you have just started watching Uthando Nesthembu. Umselegu has 4 wives, Mdletshe, Umayeni, Umangwabe kanye noMakhumalo. Ayibo, yes. Makhumalo kanye nomangwabe akazi sengibahambisa nge-age esikhona sengibahambise according to when they got married. Okay, so but after Mdletshe there was another wife, Masawula, that is no longer living. She passed away, you guys. We never met her on the show. That happened years before they actually did the show. So Masawula, apparently she was very close to Khumalo. In fact, she is the one that helped Khumalo to transition into the family. She was friends with Khumalo while Khumalo was still Selegu's girlfriend. The same thing that Khumalo did with Umangwabe, becoming friends with Umangwabe while Umangwabe was Selegu's girlfriend. Okay. So Masawula passed away. Obviously, out of all of the wives of Selegu, Khumalo is the one that was hurt the most by the passing of Masawula. But this episode, it's the first time we find out that Masawula had a son. The son is called Ulungelo. And at the beginning, when they're still talking about him, I was trying to figure out, is Ulungelo Mselegu's son? And I was like, is it possible that we have gone through 6 seasons and there is another son that Mselegu has that we know nothing about? But listening to their conversation, even though they did not say, I figured Ulungelo ingane kaMasawula, but Mselegu was not his biological father. As a result of that, after Masawula passed, the last time that they saw Ulungelo bona as a family, Ubaba Mselegu, was when the funeral took place, you guys. Khumalo is going through into ukuthi she wants to pay some respect to Masawula and also reconnect with Masawula, and she feels like the best way to do that is to connect with Ulungelo, you guys. Like I say, I feel like opportunities for Khumalo to give us a storyline that has to do with her personally. She will find ways to deal with something else, but I guess maybe and she feels like this story is personal to her because she seemed very hurt by the passing Ugama Sawula, because at some point she's crying during this conversation when they are just remembering Masawula. Okay, so Mselegu didn't sound like he wants to meet Ulungelo as such, but he does give a go ahead to say Khumalo can go ahead and go and meet Ulungelo, and obviously akhonze and all of that, and find out if ulungelo usezogana, because he would love to be part of that, you guys. Of course, we don't know what are the reasons that Umselegu would not keep in touch with ingane kaMasawula after Masawula passed, you guys. Why would it be that it has only it has been this long since the funeral? The last time they saw him basically was at the funeral. So Uma Khumalo sounds like she is nervous about meeting Ulungelo. I guess because ingane might have a question. He might have a question of, you guys, uma wami washona and you guys just abandoned me. Why? You know. And she doesn't know if he would know that her intentions Uma Khumalo are good. She is praying he understands her intentions are good, and that it brings a closure for both her and Ulungelo ukuthi bamite, because obviously even for Ulungelo would be meeting somebody that his mom was very close to, and that is something very special to get to meet somebody that your mom who has passed was very close to. Okay. And so there was the scene. Umselego gives a go ahead to say he does not have a problem with Uma Khumalo going ahead ayomita Ulungelo. I feel like a lot of the times when he's uncomfortable with dealing with an issue, he will send his wives to deal with it, and this is one of those issues where he's like, you go ahead, you go and meet him, I don't have a problem with it, but it's not like I wanna meet him. And maybe Ulungelo would want to meet him. It's just that I don't know how close they were at the time when Masawula was around. Did he really act as a stepfather or not? If he did, I think it would make sense that even Ulungelo would want to know, would want to meet him again. Anyway, so the next scene is Ulwandle ingane kaMacele's firstborn. He is going around, bunch of flowers and a card to all of the wives, Makhumalo, Mangwabe, and Mayeni, uyobanika the flowers and the invitation. At first, I thought that maybe he was sent by his father, but it turned out that it wasn't from his father, it was from his mom. His mom wanted to invite his other moms to Ilokuzana, to a luncheon for a celebration of their relationship. I'm guessing, you guys, that it's their 20th anniversary, and that's why she's inviting them. So, and then they also have this picture, Bobo when they were younger, I guess back in the day, when they had just met, and it's part of the invitation. Everybody is excited to go. Uma Khumalo says she's excited to go because she likes looking beautiful. We all know Uma Khumalo likes umswenko, okay? But all of them are excited to go. It was a nice thing also that Ulwandle was arriving with the flowers, okay? Then the next one, guys, really was my favorite scene in this episode. It really was, for so many reasons. One reason is just the fact that, because from what we've seen on the show, it almost feels like the only person that is interested in life kasne is Umacele. But we also have to remind ourselves, Guti, we don't see everything about umndeni kaMseleki. We only see izinto abasikhombisa on TV. But from what we've seen, it always feels like the only person that cares about impilo kasne is Umacele out of all the four wives. So I was interested so much in this scene because I wanted to see interaction kaMayeni benosne. I wanted to see ukuthi usne, how does she speak to uMayeni, how does she receive advice kaMayeni, how is Mayeni's approach, does it look like it works or not? Because when the wives were talking about usne laphayana, where they were doing a hike, it really, to me, it felt like Mayeni is one of those people that really care about Usne. It's just that we have not seen a relationship here on TV. We really haven't. I haven't seen any interaction between Usne and Mayeni. And so I was interested in this scene on how it was going to go. So Mayeni goes to the house where Usne stays, and I'm guessing that that is the house, because Umacele has a house in Zumba, but akahlali khona uhlala eSiphack, so leyo ndlu ihlala usne. So Umayeni went to that house. and they're sitting outside. It's like a balcony kind of thing, or veranda. So they're just outside. They decide to talk, greet each other, fine, all respectful. And umayeni just starts by saying, you know what, I'm disappointed ngendaba you're pregnant, that you are pregnant. I've heard you're pregnant. We are very disappointed about that. But the thing is, there's nothing that we can do about the pregnancy. Okay, but there's other things that we need to discuss. Okay, which makes sense. She's already pregnant, so ukumthethisa about her falling pregnant is not going to help anybody, you know. So what do we do now? What are the things that we need to fix now? Okay, I love the approach kamayeni because it was very calm, you know. Ubengathethi very uthethisiwe ubaba wakhe wathethiswa amacele. I guess now she's using a different approach. One of the things she wanted to address, one was the fact that Usne, when she was talking to Makhumalo, when Makhumalo was asking her about the pregnancy, Makhumalo says that she wasn't very respectful to her, you know. And also, I think she wanted to address in the Baguti, what is the plan now, you know, what's happening with Ubabwengane, what are his plans now, what is your plan, Masubeliti? Are you going to implant, because there is an option implant? What is the plan, you know? I like that, because at the end of the day, Sneh is already pregnant. Ukumthethisa about why are you falling pregnant, how did you fall pregnant, it's not going to help. So what's the plan moving forward? Usne says Guti, she was confused when Umayene was talking about her not being respectful to Umacele, but she did say at the end, Guti, you know what, probably azange ngikhulume kahle and ngiyaxolisa ngaloko. As far as ubaba wengane yakhe is concerned, she says yeah, ubaba wengane ukhona, uyasebenza futhi, he does acknowledge ingane as eyakhe and uthi uzoyondla, you know, uthi that's what he says. Obviously, you know, I think she's right, because sometimes they can say things and not do them, these men. So but she says the guy says yes, he's going to take care of a child. As far as the implant is concerned, she says she's scared to put on the implant, because she has heard from other people about side effects of implant. She has heard of people that put the implant and then after a while they go to take it out and it's not there. You know, the doctors cannot find it or something like that. So she is scared. People that have done it do not have good stories to tell about the implant. Idla noma amaphilisi and just noma ujove or something. Ukhulile manje. I feel like usinemdala manje, she needs to make that decision. You know, either you take that risk by putting the implant, or commit yourself to a clinic everywhere, however long you have to go to your jova. Or udla amaphilisi like everyone else abadla amaphilisi prevention. Whatever it is, you just need to commit to it, because at this point it looks like you're just going to have a child every season, you know. And I think Mdala manje, she needs to make that decision. I did like approach kamayeni ukuthi even though she might like Usne ukuthi ayifake implant, but she's not taking into ukuthi the approach of, you know what, you have enough kids now, mawuzala nje siyakufaka implant. No, it's more like, listen, there is an option implant and people do it all the time. Maybe now it's time you consider that, you know, because really at the end of the day, Sneh is an adult, she needs to make that decision. But I would hope that Sneh will make the right decision, because I think 3 kids is enough, especially her dealing with so much already, people feeling like the kids that are there, she's not giving everything to those kids. So how is she gonna do with 1 extra kid every other year, you know? So I hope she makes the right decision. And ekuphawuleni ngendaba ukuthi bafile ngathi she does not love ingane zakhe, Usne, her response is that yena she feels like she loves ingane zakhe, she feels like uyayinakekela ingane zakhe. So she does not understand where they come from with that thing yokuthi she does not take care of her kids. Also you guys, there is that story so good. Usne was supposed to buy a cake for ingane yakhe on her birthday and she did not want to. that in itself, I guess indications, that's where they come from when they say ingane zakhe akazinakekeli or akaziniki uthando. Because if people are saying it's your child's birthday, buy a cake, and you don't want to do it, it's not like you're saying you don't have money, you don't want to do it, then that's where they're coming from. That's where they get the information that you might not be taking care of your children. But from where she's coming from, she's saying she does not understand that. She feels like she's taking care of her children. Remember, even umama mkhulu said ukuthi ingane le encane utheni, she feels like the child is skinny, like udinga ukudla. And Usne was saying, she feels like that's just umzimba wakhe. Her body is like that. It's not like agadlo samgele uyadla but akakhuluphali, So from where she is sitting, Usne, I feel like she feels like she's doing all that she can. She feels like she's doing the best that she can. She doesn't understand why everybody is going on and on about how she's not a good mom. Okay. And then the next one, it was an exercise session. Kamacele, they've called in a trainer. So Macele invited Umayeni ukuthi azom, sometimes you need someone to be on your side and shugusha with you. So she shugusha Umayeni is like, mina understand you. Uvele sibizwe nje kuthiwa size nje sizojumpa siyajumpa. Siyajumpa. And yes, so bajumpeke, going up, they did the step up and down, they did the weights, everything. I felt like Umayeni was not having as hard a time as Umacele was. It really looked like Umacele is having a hard time, okay? It was difficult for her, okay? So but that's everything. But at the end, and then the trainer, they were saying, trainer okay, now when you start sweating, that's when she's like, okay, now you've worked, okay? But they had a good session. I like ukuthi Umacele like has made that a solid storyline for herself. The gymming, the exercising, trying to get fit, trying to lose the weight. I like that for her. I really love it for her. And then the next scene, it's a Mpumelel's baby's birthday. So I don't know if it's the day of the birthday or they're just doing a party on that day. And she's turning 2. Apparently they were planning to have a party when she turned 1, but he couldn't afford it, and then now they can. And Gamalengane Umhlophekazi Mseleku gave that name to the child. I'm not going to get into how I feel about Mseleku and this child, because I do feel like this child is more special to him than Inganega's name, but you know. So the mother of the child was there, okay, which is the girlfriend that has a child. But I don't think that, because the whole family was there, all the mothers were there except for Mangwabe, who was going to be late because she had other commitments, okay. And I don't think that any of the family members knew Gucci the other girlfriend was coming. They were going to be meeting the other girlfriend. So when the other girlfriend comes, everyone is feeling weird about the situation, because for some weird reason, none of the wives seem to support the fact that he's taking his temp. It's like, yeah, now you like your father, but they wish that he could do something different. Especially Umayeni really doesn't support it. She just feels like he is young, usazo herega. It will end in tears. And she really was doing everything she can, Umayeni, to avoid the girlfriends. She did not want to be around them. And she says, yeah, girlfriend, because before you know it, these girlfriends won't be around, and then other girlfriends will be coming. So what is she going to say now when the others come? Now, every time they come, she's entertaining. Every time they come, she's entertaining. So she felt like she wants to keep a distance. The others were also feeling weird about the situation, even though they were trying to have conversations with them, but it was like, do we need to? Umsele said specifically ukuthi because Umpumelelo came with both of them to introduce them to his father, and Umsele was like, I mean, I don't think it's appropriate ukuthi umuntu azo introduce girlfriend yakhe ama-girlfriends akhe wo-two kimi, especially because khona nabantu basemzini bekhona abantu bakubomayeni, you know. I think ubaba kamayeni was there, so excuse me, he just felt like it's why are you introducing a girlfriend? Umayeni even makes an example because you never used to get introduced as a girlfriend when they find out you have a boyfriend. So for you to introduce, what is that? You know? And I get that. Guys, introduce because the other one is the mother of the child. The other one is just a girlfriend. So there was no need for her to azo introduce for what, because aganangane foot. So I got it in that way, but everybody was just feeling weird around that situation. And I was like, you know what, when it comes to this one, Mangobe arrives late, and I guess ufike late abanye abantu sebehambile, and umacele naye sefuna ukuhamba, and ngathi Musa had said kumacela angahambi just so that it doesn't look like uhamba ngoba sekufike umangwabe, but umacele ended up ehamba ukuthi why should I stay just because of that sengifuna ukuhamba vele party besiphelile umangwabe was late. So umangwabe is trying to make jokes, nobody is laughing because abantu sebekhathele, angazi noma babhora ukuthi ufike late, they don't understand why she's coming late or what, but nje bebengenayo interest kuyena. Okay. And Umayeni, the whole time she was sitting in the kitchen, she did not, because they were sitting, I think, in the dining area, and she was sitting in the kitchen the whole time. She did not want to be bothered with anything. And yeah, because that's what she said, this girlfriend basazohamba kufika abanye, so mina ngoloku ngimukela nje ngoloku ngintroduce nje. It makes sense though what she's saying, and also I don't think that she has dealt with the fact that Umpumelelo might actually for real like athathe Ntando. She feels like Umpumelelo, there is still a possibility yokuthi Umpumelelo might change his mind in terms of ilokhuzana is Ntando. Umpumelelo sounds like he was selling in the Ntando. He even has a shirt that he was wearing. He says the last shirt ulphathe with diary session shirt because he feels like ubaba wakhe gave him leli shirt linalento le emenza ukuthi aphumelele kwisithembu sakhe. So he just feels like line magic ethile shirt. Yeah, you guys, do I feel like it's gonna work in the Nesthembu? I don't know, guys. It might work as well as Ntando Sabawake has worked. For an example, it's not perfect. We all know that it's not perfect. Even when they try to create a picture, which it's perfect, you can see the cracks. It's okay. It's not that perfect. And if these girls now are willing, because bancane, and it's easy to get along with. I think the perfect example that they should look at is the example Kamakumalu no Mangwabi. Because now they were friends. You remember how we were introduced to the both of them, and then they outgrew each other because at the end of the day they were married to the same man. Interaction Gamakumaro now no Mangwabi is very limited, especially on the show, you know, and they have some tension as well in the and whatnot. Anyway, you guys, that was the episode for today. It sounds like next week they might start talking about Umshado Kamakumalo, which I have been wondering why we have taken so long to get to a point where we talk about Umshado Kamakumalo that is supposed to take place as a season finale. Also, we get Umakumalo ehayiza angazi nomsengena ubungoma or what. Something is happening with umacele njalo not. Guys, umacele nomakhona ngiyabaphamela. Yazini kunoma in my family kunomacele, my grandmother umacele and then umalumekazi wami uMakhumalo. So nginako lokho kumabisa nje ukuthi ngoba ngivele ngicabange the Makumalo and the angazi nami I mix them. But anyway, you guys, we'll see ukuthi kuzobe kwenzekani angazi ukuthi ngingagesa ngithini nje ngithi kwenzekani ngomacele ngoba the whole thing that happens is really confusing that we saw in the preview. Anyway, there was the episode for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video before niphume kuyona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngithanda kakhulu.